Okay, so we're on our final daf of Maseches Avodah Zarah, and we'll be making the siyum Friday morning. Anybody who's in the White Lake area, pay attention to the Twitter feed. Maybe I'll make once we know exactly what time we're davening Shachris, maybe I'll make a separate video for those who are not on Twitter, just to announce if you want to join us in person for the siyum, especially if you're firstborn. If you've learned the whole thing and you don't live in the area, or you have your own local synagogue, perhaps it needs someone to make a siyum. If you kept up with the whole Daf Yomi the whole time, you too can make a siyum, and you can help all the people in the shul who might have to fast, all the firstborns, that they shouldn't have to fast. So it's really wonderful how this is working out just at the right time. I'm sure there are other people who also kind of went ahead by the end, learning Daf Yomi just to make the siyum. So, because actually I think the actual siyum is going to be a little bit later, but for the Daf Yomi, but we went ahead. So let's get started. Again, we're on 76. That's Ayin Vav. So Amar B'chia Brei Rav Huna. B'chia, the son of Rav Huna, said, "Le'asur ter l'kader bas yoima." Now, bas yoima is where the daf begins. And again, we're dealing with Inyana Diyoma. We're dealing with things that are timely, that this is something everybody's concerned about right now, kashering for Pesach. The lav nice and tam lefgam hu. So, the prohibition against a pot that was used for something not kosher, from a Torah perspective, is only prohibited if it was used that day. Once 24 hours have passed, the flavor is ruined. However, mikan ve'elech lishtri. After 24 hours, there's no necessity to kosher the dishes. You should be allowed to have it. However, the rabbis made a gezerah. Gezerah, a decree, a rabbinical decree, she'eina bas yoima mishum keder bas yoima. The decree was that something that was, we said this yesterday, something that was where the 24 hours have already passed, we still prohibit it on account of the pot that was used that same day, because it's not, there's no apparent change. So it's worthwhile to be strict. And once the rabbis made a law, that's the law. But it's a rabbinical law. It's not adding to the Torah. It's a rabbinical law. Lo sasser, which is the biblical mandate that gives the rabbis the mandate to make rabbinical laws, as long as they're making it clear the difference between a rabbinical law and a biblical law. V'idach keder bas yemanami mifgam pogama. However, there is an opinion that even on the same day, the flavor could be damaged. For example, if you wash it with soap, that ruins the flavor. But, so Rami lay Rav Amram Rav Sheshis. So Rav Amram asked Rav Sheshis Tanan Hashpunin va Skalia and Labnan Ba'or. It said that the spits and the grills, those have to go through fire to be koshered, to remove anything that's not kosher. V'snan gabe kadashim was taught concerning sacrifices, holy things, that there's also, you can't, since there's an Isser of Nosar, You're not allowed to have any leftovers from certain sacrifices. You can have for 1 day, some can have for 2 days, and so forth. After that, the sacrifice is not kosher. So therefore, the cooking utensils used for the sacrifices also have to be purged of the nosar. It's a separate prohibition of the whatever was left over there. Hashpud v'achsala haskala magilan b'chamen. However, they said when it comes to a spit or a grill, that it's sufficient to make the hechsher by putting it in hot and boiling water. Marley. So Sheshes said, Amram Bari, Amram my son, Ma'enin Kadashim Estel Gulayakum. Sheshes answered and said, my son, there's no comparison between the holy sacrifices and the absorbed flavors from something that was cooked by a pagan. So hacha terbola hasam isur bola. By basar kadshim, it was something that was kosher to begin with. That was so when it's something kosher that was absorbed, like kachim is kosher. Can't get around this guy. All right. So then it's something kosher that was absorbed. That's not. So that kosher is kosher. When it comes to the non-kosher, it's non-kosher, right? So hacha heter bala hasam isura bala Rava. So Rava said, "Saif ki kapalit isura kapalit." But Rava said no. It's still a big issue because once it becomes noisar, once it's past its expiration date, so then it's then it's so then it's then it's not kosher. It's the same issue of this with the what do you call it? Now we're going to deal with chametz and Pesach. So chametz this time of year is kosher. Tomorrow it's kosher. Today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. When we come Friday afternoon, it's not kosher anymore. So we'll have to take care of this later. So it's the same issue. We're taking the kosher and something that's now kosher and tomorrow's not going to be kosher. It's the same type of thing. So when at that time it's not kosher. So Alamarava Mai Hagala Nami Shtif Amrika. So Rava said, what kind of Hagala are we talking about? What kind of purging of the non-kosher? So we're talking about where you're also putting in cold water and so forth. So Amalei Abaya. So Abaya said to him, Midame, can you really make a comparison? Mika Shtifa Nasa B'Tzainin. When you put it in cold water, that's cold water. Hagala B'Chamin. Hagala, that's you putting in boiling water and hot water. Alaram Abaya. So Abaya said, Yagid Alav Ro'oi. It says in Job, in Eov, one should tell his friend, Tanahacha. What does it mean? We're teaching here in our Mishnah Libun, V'hudin Lagola. That if something needs to be put right directly into the fire, it's also the same law with Hagola. It was putting in the boiling water. Tanahasam Hagola would in Libun. And here it's saying if you have Hagola, then you need to make Libun to put in the fire. So Amalei Rava. So Rava said, Ihachi, if that's the case, everything should be taught in one place. Why do we have these? So we don't have it somewhere else. So his friend should tell him. Gonna let the Alama Rava, so rather Rava says Kadashim, Hainu Tamayu, Rav Nachman. The reason we say this with the sacrifices is according to Rav Nachman. Amar Rabba Baravoa, and then what he stated in the name of Rabba Baravoa. Amar, because he said B'chol Yom V'Yom Nasa Gil. Each day removes whatever was absorbed. It expels whatever's absorbed from the next day. So, meaning the fact that they're cooking through the Kabbalah Kach Polto, the way something is absorbed, that's also the way that it's released. So therefore, since they're cooking every day, they don't need to make a special Hagala, because it's already being removed to the Hagala. Tenach Shlamim. That makes sense when we're talking about peace offerings. Why? Nicer. A peace offering has a 2-day expiration date, and so if it's already only one day has passed. So then, and then you're cooking with it. So that already is making hagola. Hashtabagol. Elachatas, but the sin offering kaven the embelayla misachla, that their expiration date is one day and a night. Kimavashal bayit chatas having nicer. The next day when you're cooking chatas, it's already left over and it's not kosher. So if they're cooking again the shlamim, the chatas, so then it's removing the whatever is coming out is nosar of it's the leftover, which is not kosher, of the sin offering of the chatas that was made that day. Chatas shlamim l'lamacha. And it's going into the next day's chatas and shlamim, so it's trafing it up. Amrei, so they said like tzvicha, no. Any time when they would cook a chatas, the same day they would cook a shlamim right after it, so that would remove the kosher time of the chatas before it became noisar kan. And then they would cook shlamim, and shlamim only becomes nicer after 2 days, and they're already cooking with it by the next day. They always make sure the last thing they're going to cook is shlamim, because shlamim has a 2-day nosar cutoff. That's the expiration date. So chatas l'machar. So then the next day when they're cooking the chatas with the esmo, so then from the previous day, then they're being cooked together. Kashlim manayu. So then the time is up. Harder mavashal shlamim de l'machar. But the next day they're cooking tomorrow's shlamim. Yihachi, if that's the case, hagola nami liboy. So that they don't need to make hagola kasha. Still, we have a question. If Papa said, "Hi, Karid." This, what if it gets all caked on and it's hard, and then you can't wash it off? Hi, like Karid, and this one it's already clean, so it comes out easy. So what is it? Rav Ashiyam la'olam kedamar and mikar. So it's always like they said at the beginning. Hacha heter bala. When they first absorbed it, it was kosher. Hacha sur bala. That when it comes to the kachim, it was kosher when it was absorbed. When it comes to the to non-kosher, it was not kosher. The kokashalach. So now we have another question. So now it expelled the flavor. Isura kapalit. Whatever was expelled is not kosher. But in the kapalit, the time when it expelled it, like isi li survene, it didn't become yet not kosher. At kamal abnon. So how much they have to make it put in the fire? How long? Amar Ravmani achita shir klipasan, until there's a shell that comes off of it, a covering that comes off of it. Kates Magilan, how do you make hagola? How do they put it in boiling water? Amar Rafuna said Yora Katana, Such Yora Gadola. They would put a small pot into a big pot. Yora Gadola Mai, what do they do for the big pots? Tashma. So listen to this. The Hu Duda Daida. The Have Beirava Kavya. Rav Kavya had an uncle, Haderle, and got funneled the Lisha Puma. Oh no, not an uncle. I have the Gemara here. How do we translate that? Good thing there's traffic and we can look into our translations here. There was a rim of dough. There was a cauldron. Alright, so and Rabbi Kavi had a cauldron. He wanted to put dough around the mouth of the cauldron, and Leo Meyer Vischa, he'd fill it up with boiling water. Rava said, Man chakim l'meved ki hamilsa. He said, this is a very wise thing to do. Ilav Rava Kavya de Gavra Rabahu. Unless it was, I would question it, except that Rabbi Kavya is a big man, and he understands that however something is absorbed, that's how it's released. Ma bolea b'netzotzos. So just to the little drops are what is absorbed. Av polta b'netzotzos. So too the little drops are what's released. Hasakin shafa. Tahora. So that we'll go back to our Mishnah. If you sharpen a knife, that makes it kosher. You smooth it off. Amarav Ukva Bar Chama. Ukva Bar Chama said, you should stab the knife 10 times into hard ground. A lot of people get confused by this. They think there's some kind of thing like if you leave dishes in the dirt overnight, it makes it kosher. That doesn't. What you've gained is that it's that it's a it's not ben yomo anymore. But to remove the kashrus, you still have to kasher it. But one way you could kasher it is if it's very hard dirt. You could not in the same place, in 10 different places. You can stab a knife into the ground only with a knife, not with anything else. So Amar Rav Huna Breder Rav Yehoshua, Huna the son of Yehoshua said, "V'karka shein avuda." He said that with dirt that's not worked, that we just said, it can't be well tilled. It has to be tough. So Amar Rav Kahana said, "V'sak and yafa," and it has to be a smooth knife. Shein bagumos. It can't have any holes in it, or it can't be serrated. Taninami hachi, so too. V'sak and yafa shein bagumos. Yeah, it has to be a smooth knife, a nice knife with the sharp knife with no serrating and no holes in it or anything. That you can put into the dirt 10 times. Stab the dirt. Amar Rav Huna Breder Rav Yehoshua. Huna the son of Yehoshua said, Lechel batznon. He said that allows you to eat a radish, and a radish is a sharp item, so it's a serious thing. Kiha, like this, the Mar Yehuda Bati Bar Tovi. It was Master Yehuda and Bati, the son of Tovi. Havu Yasve Kamei the Shavar Malka. They were sitting in front of Shapur, the king, the Persian king. Aisu L'Kamayu Esroga. And he brought them an esrog pasak achal. So the king cut the esrog to eat pasak v'havle lebati bartuvi, and he cut a piece and gave it to Bati bartuvi. Hada dadsa sarzimli ba'ara. The king then went. Bati Bartuvi was not Jewish. The king then stabbed the knife 10 times in the ground. Pasuk v'hava leila Mar Yehuda, and then he cut a piece of esrog and gave it to Mar Yehuda. Malay Bati Bartuvi. Oh, so I guess no. Bati Bar Tuvi was Jewish. Samalei Bati Bar Tuvi who Gavela Bar Yisrael. So Bati Bar Tuvi said, "It's that man not a Jew." He told himself, "Am I not a Jew?" Amalei Mar Kimli Bigvia. So the king said, "I know that Mar Yehuda is very frum. Marlo Kimli Bigvia, and I know you're not so frum. Ikada Amrei, and some say Marle Idkamai." He said, "Remember we did last time. We're not gonna finish it so we can make the siyum." Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. We made it to the end of Avodah Zarah. Sorry, I'm kind of out of it. Pesach is really taking a lot out of me. I'm kind of nervous about it. So, all right, all the best. God bless.